Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird, a Blackbird's Brew. Happy Thursday and welcome to the Pagan Housewife. We're going to discuss surviving that summer melt because summer is in full force and goody for all of the people who absolutely thrive in the season. I'm happy for you. But however enthusiastic someone might be about the summer, there will still be days when it's just a bit too hot for them, a smidge too sticky. That humidity can be a killer. So we've got to adapt. There's nothing else to do. It is purely common sense, and I want to be clear that it's not my intention to insult anyone's intelligence. Sometimes, when our brain cells are melting from the heat, we tend to forget what we already know. At least that can certainly be the case for me. So, I'm just going to toss a few things out there in hopes that we can all get through the worst of the heat a bit more comfortably. So, to start with, as usual, it begins with our mindset. We've got to accept that what is happening and that it's all part of nature's natural cycle and it's a necessary thing. If we stop expecting cooler weather and stop hoping for it at this time of year, then we won't be wasting our energy wishing for the impossible. That is also the beginning of appreciating this time of year for what it actually is as opposed to what we wish it was. The next thing to do is to give the household a thorough going over. Have we put away everything that has to do with winter? And have we just lightened up things for the cooler months? Because if you think about it, even if you just have heavy blankets around and things like that, even if you're not using them, just seeing them, it can make you feel hotter and more uncomfortable than you actually would be. Another way to make the house more visually cool is by putting away any decor that has a lot of warm colored tones to it. This may not seem like much, but if you walk into a room filled with, reds and orange and yellows, it will feel quite different and much hotter than a room of blues and greens and whites. Now, you don't have to go to the expense of complete redecoration, and I certainly don't advocate for that, but just editing your possessions, putting them away for a little while, lighten things up, it can actually help. Moving air also helps a great deal. Now, most of us have air conditioning. It's a wonderful thing, but turning on a fan every now and then to get that cool air circulating, that really maximizes the effect of the air conditioning. And if your air conditioner should give out on you, or if you're not running it due to the expense, a few well-placed fans can make even the worst days more bearable. And when we're working, whether it's inside or outside, we shouldn't expect ourselves to perform the same way we do as when the weather is a little bit more temperate. It's more than just staying hydrated, as important as that is. It can take a bit longer to get into a good working rhythm. We may not be as efficient as we ordinarily are, and if we get frustrated by our natural reaction to working in the heat, we'll accomplish even less. So adjusting our expectations can save a lot of wear and tear on our nerves. It may even help to remember that nature is operating at a more deliberate pace as well. Yes, I mean, everything is blooming and growing and gestating. It seems like there's a lot of activity, but it's all very routine. It's a bit more passive than the planting and the harvesting seasons. It's more so of a things are going well. Let's wait and see how it all turns out kind of time, which is just going to, by its nature, going to be more relaxed. Now, once we've done what we can to mitigate the effects of excessive heat, then we can focus on actually enjoying what the season has to offer. Because even as adults, the summertime fun that oftentimes delighted us as children is still enjoyable now. So, the obvious things, swimming, hiking, picnicking, all the fun things you can do when you're on vacation. And whether you're on your own or you're spending time with your family, these things, they're all good fun. And oftentimes, these are things that you don't really have the right moment to do in other seasons. You don't have the time for it, or the weather really is not allowing for it. So it is good to embrace these summer activities while we can. Summer is an excellent time for outdoor rituals. And while we're in between holidays at the moment, that doesn't mean that we can't or that we shouldn't have small rituals of our own that are personal to us. Whether it's just celebrating a particularly good day, or welcoming the appearance of our favorite wildflower, or honoring the spirits of local lakes and streams, there's always something that we can connect to. This is also an interesting time of year to meditate and just absorb the surrounding energies. Unlike the spring when everything is waking up, or the autumn and when everything has exploded into full fruition, or the winter when everything is sleeping, the summer is more like this soft buzz of energy. Everything's humming along in this persistent yet soft way, and it's just a different sensation from other times of the year. Summer is an excellent time to just catch up on our reading, especially anything having to do with our spirituality. We may not be doing exhaustive research right now, because again, melted brain cells, it is a thing. But like the season, maybe we're just kind of rolling along with our reading or satisfying our curiosities about certain things. But go ahead. If it strikes you, go ahead and read it. If it looks interesting, go ahead and watch it. We may not get another opportunity for this kind of meandering repose until it's wintertime again. But once we get past our own whinging about it, summer can actually become a really delightful time if we look for the good things in the season and stop expecting it to be something that it was never meant to be. So that's all I got for you this week. Next week, it will be time to talk about Lunasa, Freyfaxi, First Harvest, and First Shadows. So definitely be back for that. Things are moving right along. In the meantime, share your thoughts and your own ideas about how to better survive the summer melt in the comments section, or come over to Blackbird's Brew on Gilded. There's a link in the description box to join us, and you'd be very welcome there. But that's all I have for you today, and I will see you guys the next time. Bye.